There's something brewing in Atlanta that could shake up everything we thought we knew about this team. A move that caught many off guard, signals from camp that hint at bold decisions, and under-the-radar players suddenly rising into the spotlight. If you've been following this team closely, you'll know this isn't just another preseason, it's a turning point. The kind of moment where depth charts shift, careers are made or broken, and the foundation of the season quietly starts to take shape. And what's happening behind closed doors might just change the course of the Falcons' future. Before I tell you, press the like button and come with me and I'll keep you well informed. You won't believe the latest twist in the Falcons training camp saga, a move that screams urgency, a signing that has fans scratching their heads, and a story of redemption that may never come. But it's happening. The Atlanta Falcons are signing C.J. Henderson. Yes, that's C.J. Henderson, former top 10 pick, once destined to be the cornerstone of Jacksonville's secondary, now clinging to the final strands of his NFL career. The news breaks not with fireworks, but with the quiet ripple of desperation after an untimely injury to promising UDFA Kobe Bryant. The Falcons had no choice but to act, and Henderson was the call. Let's rewind the tape. C.J. Henderson, drafted 9th overall in 2020 by the Jaguars. He was brought in to replace none other than Jalen Ramsey. Big shoes, even bigger expectations. But the promise fizzled, injuries mounted, inconsistencies plagued him. After just 10 games in Jacksonville, the franchise moved on. Stints with Carolina, a brief moment with Houston, and most recently, a practice squad shadow with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, he's in Flowery Branch. But let's be honest, this isn't a feel-good comeback story. Not yet. This is a depth signing. A preseason body. A patch over a crack that exposed itself 2 days ago when Kobe Bryant pulled up with a hamstring injury during joint practices with the Titans. And while it's tempting to dream about potential, about the 6 feet 1 inch corner rediscovering his stride, the reality is more sobering. The odds of C.J. Henderson making the 53-man roster are slim. Special teams? Maybe. But this feels like a placeholder move. A safety net. Just in case. But if you think the Falcons are quietly coasting through the preseason, think again. All eyes are now shifting to Michael Penix Jr. and oh boy, did he light it up in joint practices? Day 1 against Tennessee, 13 completions on 16 attempts. 6 of those throws went over 10 yards. Bombs to Casey Washington. Deep shots to Drake London. Penix didn't just manage the offense, he ignited it. He's got the arm. He's got the poise. And now, he's got the belief of the coaching staff. So much so, Raheem Morris is holding him out of preseason action to have him fully locked and loaded for Week 1 against the Buccaneers. That's a bold move. Because with that kind of trust, the pressure to deliver early is enormous. You can't afford a slow start. Not in this league. Not in this division. Now, while Penix rests, the run game's depth gets its audition. Don't expect Bijan Robinson or Tyler Allgeier to take snaps, they're set. The Thunder and Lightning duo is one of the most balanced in the league. But what about the next tier? Nathan Carter made noise against the Lions in Week 1 of preseason, showcasing vision, burst, and balance. Still, there's more to see. The offensive line, especially the second and third units, needs to step up. Jack Nelson, the 7th rounder out of Wisconsin, struggled. Protection broke down. Lanes collapsed. The Falcons need to lean into their wide zone scheme more, stretch plays, outside runs, plays that open up the edge instead of jamming it down the middle. Because right now, with Eason Stick and Emory Jones under center, defenses aren't respecting the pass. They're loading the box and daring Atlanta to beat them. Zach Robinson has to scheme smarter. Let's talk wideouts, because there's buzz. Real buzz. Casey Washington is turning heads. Raheem Morris has praised him nonstop, and it's not just coach speak. Washington has taken every first-team rep with Darnell Mooney sidelined. The second-year man out of Illinois had just 1 catch last year. Now, he's in line to start opposite Drake London. This is the breakout window. If he seizes it, he could cement himself in the rotation, maybe even hold onto a WR3 or WR4 role when Mooney returns. Catterall Hodge has a grip on the WR4 spot for now, but Washington's rising fast. Ray McLeod is in the mix too, but if Washington continues to show he can separate, catch in traffic, and stretch the field, the Falcons might have found a gem. And defensively? Let's not ignore what DeMarco Hellams did against Detroit. He was a missile, instinctive, physical, relentless. Last year's injury kept fans from seeing his full potential, but this preseason, he's playing like a man on a mission. Don't be surprised if you hear his name often this fall. But the real intrigue lies in Billy Bowman. A safety-turned-slot corner experiment that might just work. Think about this. You draft a guy with elite speed, flexibility, ball skills, and you slide him into the nickel role. He's raw. He needs to bulk up. His tackling needs work. But his upside? Huge. Delford has that spot for now, but if Bowman sharpens his technique, stays in phase, plays the leverage game, avoids getting smoked on rub routes, he could take over. And that's not speculation. That's the buzz inside camp. Let me pause here. What do you make of C.J. Henderson's signing? Is there a chance he revives his career in Atlanta, or is this just a stopgap solution? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's shift to the trenches, where the battle is quietly brewing and the future of the Falcons' pass rush may already be taking shape. Two names are emerging, Jalen Walker and James Pierce Jr. These aren't just rookies trying to find their place, they're potential game changers. But potential only gets you so far. The key now? Scheme. Usage. How Raheem Morris and the defensive staff deploy these young weapons will determine if this defense takes a leap forward or continues to struggle generating pressure. There are signs of creativity bubbling under the surface. One package the staff is reportedly experimenting with is the Ghost Rush, and for James Pierce Jr., it might be a perfect fit. This isn't your standard edge move. It's designed to bait the offensive tackle, then explode off an arc so wide it feels like the rusher disappears, until he's suddenly breathing down the quarterback's neck. With his raw speed and hand quickness, Pierce could be lethal here. If the tackle whiffs and the guard can't pick it up, you're looking at a free shot at the QB's blind side. Now imagine pairing that with Jalen Walker lined up just inside, using a chop club technique, power-focused, aiming to punch through the guard's inside shoulder and collapse the pocket from the front. This isn't finesse, it's raw power with surgical footwork. And if Walker can master this, while Pierce crashes from the outside, offenses are in trouble. You can't double both. Someone's getting home. That's the vision. But all of it depends on Raheem Morris trusting his rookies and giving them the chance to grow, not in safe, predictable alignments, but in dynamic, disruptive packages. The Falcons haven't had a double-digit sack duo in years. These two could be the answer. But it's not just about the pass rush, it's about building an identity. Fast. Physical. Creative. And if Morris leans into these ideas now, he may unlock something Atlanta hasn't had in a long time, fear on defense. And let's not forget the secondary behind them. Jesse Bates is the rock. But who lines up next to him? Xavier Watts and Jordan Fuller are locked in a tight battle, and both bring different flavors. Watts is younger, ringier, the kind of ball hawk that fits today's NFL. Fuller is steadier, more experienced, a communicator. The reps are split, and no decision has been made yet. But it's clear the staff sees this safety room as a strength, and that depth could be what separates the Falcons late in close games. So now, as we look ahead to the Titans game, the storylines are stacked. Casey Washington fighting to become a starter. Billy Bowman quietly positioning himself to take over the nickel role. C.J. Henderson hoping to grab one last shot at relevance. Jalen Walker and James Pierce Jr. testing the boundaries of what's possible on the edge. These aren't just preseason reps, they're auditions for real, meaningful roles. Falcons fans, this is where your voice matters. Who do you want to see step up this preseason? Do you believe in the rookies on defense? Can Casey Washington hold the line until Mooney returns? And is C.J. Henderson a risk worth taking, or just another camp footnote? Hit that like button if you're hyped for this new era of Falcons football. Subscribe so you don't miss any updates. And drop a comment with your predictions, I'll be reading every one. We're just getting started, and trust me, you won't want to miss what's next. Go Falcons!